Hi guys. Okay, we're gonna try this again. I had some technical difficulties before, but hopefully this works and I can do a quick volume 1 review, of No Guns Live, which I have been waiting for. It's a V Signature Series book. I pre-ordered it about a month ago, and I wrote a review about the sample pages, and finally got the book in my hands the other day and got right into it. So just as a reminder, this book is the story of Juzo Inuo, who is this character right here. He is a man who was augmented, a special augmented soldier in a great war. We don't really know right now what the war was about, but at that time, a company called, and I'm going to try this name, it's called Beruren. It looks like a German name, manufactured these things called extensions to create augmented soldiers. And the extensions are things like Juzo's stub-nose revolver head, which is super awesome. He looks really cool. He also has this awesome lower jaw that's like, it's like shark jaws, kind of. This is a really great picture of him. He's just a really dope looking character. So I absolutely loved this story. So basically what happens is Juzo is an extended who manages sort of situations with rogue extended who are out there causing problems, and he's hired out per task. So he's sort of a mercenary, and his last couple jobs haven't paid. He's hurting for money, and he is asked to take on a job looking after this orphan child. And that's where our story starts. I do not want to tell very much more of what happens after that, because it's all really, it leads up to a really awesome conclusion. But through encountering this child, he learns about another human augmenting program that's going on called Harmony, which allows some augmented extended to control other extended remotely, which is a really interesting concept. And in this book, it creates a really awesome sort of Full Metal Alchemist kind of feel. Like there's this awesome relationship between this child and this like massive monster robot, which is so incredible. The villains that we meet are really cool. There's this really badass nun, and I always sort of love, like, you know, we see her as a nun and then she like tears her robes off and she's this badass fighter soldier. And we learn a little bit more about what her cause is. Let's see if I can find the picture of when she reveals herself, because it's really awesome. Oh yeah. So here, here she is as the nun trying to trick Juzo. And then here's her reveal a couple pages later. So we see that she's like a super badass, which I love that. I mean, that's sort of, it's a trope, you know, there's nothing especially like original about that, but it's still tons of fun. And she is badass, and an awesome fight ensues. We learn that the organization that created the extended in the beginning is not what they seem, and that there may be other organizations out there with similar aims. It doesn't really seem like anybody is specifically on the side of the extended, which is really interesting, that maybe everyone is out to get them, which will create an interesting dynamic. And in addition to that, there's this subplot that reveals itself of child extended, which we don't really find out why. And that's sort of an really intriguing mystery. Why would they augment these children? Why would they put these weapons and enhancements and robotic body parts on children? So we run into some children who are enhanced as well. We have some interactions with them and sort of learn a little bit about them, but that's more to be left to the next volume, which is really cool. We sort of get the idea, without it being explicitly expressed, that maybe there's a child army, but there's also someone out there cutting off the limbs, the arms, the robotic arms and legs of children, and hanging them like a warning around the city to other extended. And we see that repeatedly, but we don't know what's happening with that, why they're doing it. So from what I wrote a short review of the preview that I read of this book on their website, and what I got out of the preview is not even a tiny slice of what they offer in volume 1. This book is going to be so much fun. It's really well written. The artwork really works. It's not entirely clean, but that really sort of serves to enhance the story, the idea that we're in this really uncertain, sort of cobbled together world. Hi, Lauren. Thanks for watching. Cobbled together world where it's kind of man versus machine, but man also is machine. So I feel like the art style, it's a little unfinished, it's a little raw, and has a lot of movement in it. It really works for that type of story. And I'm just really excited to find out what happens next. I will say the only thing, and I don't think I would call this a complaint, and I don't think I've ever had this complaint before, is that they really like open up a lot of elements of the story in this first volume for us, and they do it clearly. This is a huge first volume. You know, and again, I've talked about this signature before. And those are sort of like the more adult, sort of special, like outside of the ordinary titles that they release. So you sometimes get a little bit more. They're usually, the volume itself, the physical volume is bigger. But this has, they don't have page numbers in here, but I would say probably 200 pages. This is a thick volume, and it's full of content and information that you need to know. So I was able to read it and love the story. I'm probably going to reread this again, though, before volume 2 comes out, because already it's like there's a list of characters that we're going to follow. There are these organizations, all of these sort of side stories, and we're still just sort of figuring out what's going to happen with Juzo and Tetsuo, who is the orphan that he's protecting. So I am really excited. I was waiting for this book. I could not wait to get it. And when it arrived, I was definitely not disappointed. The author is TASUKU Karasuma. That's the name right there. This book is available on Amazon right now for $15. And you guys know I always love, and I always mention when there is a single creator who is doing the story and the art, and this signature has a lot of these. I always feel like we get a much more cohesive story. And so if it's something that's a little bit off of the beaten path, when we have one creator creating that story for us, it always sort of comes together a little bit better because they know their vision. So No Guns Life is a fantastic read. I highly recommend it to everyone. I will be picking up volume 2, and y'all can let me know if you want me to do any follow-up reviews or if anybody wants to book club it with me. Thank you guys for watching, and I will be doing another volume 1 review in a couple of days. Thanks. Bye, guys.